we're just gonna have a fun little Friday and react to a new video out of Jubilee, their series Odd One Out, where they bring together people and they have one secret mole who's trying to trick all the others. This one is 6 millennials versus 1 secret Gen Z. But before we play the game and try to figure out who the mole is, we have Taylor in Nashville.
And this millennial is on to you. I'm going to be finding the secret Gen Z because I know all the millennial things, and it'll be a shame if I don't.
Yes, I myself am a 2000 baby, okay? 2000, very young, 23. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to pretend like I'm a millennial. I'm going to try to answer these questions and sneak under the radar. You guys are going to have to let me know how well I'm doing. Maybe we should pop a poll up for you guys of what generation you're a member of. I see Taylor's already on it. Okay, this is great minds.
Great minds. Great
thinking
minds.
Thinking alike. Okay, so let us know how you would answer these questions. If you're a millennial, you gotta let me know if I'm tricking you, as Taylor's gonna do through the duration of today's episode. Without further ado, let's get straight into Odd One Out.
I'm a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
I am a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
Ooh. One is secretly Gen Z. I'm gonna out myself right now. I know who the secret Gen Z person is because I watch a lot of Jubilee. You know, we're very active Jubilee watchers on this channel. Hope you all are subscribed to their channel as well, because we watch them a lot on here. So I've seen this individual in another thing, and I know who it is, but I digress. I'm still gonna have fun.
What was everyone's AOL A Messenger name?
I was Crushed Up 40. I was a big Sonic fan. The band Crush 40 was my whole thing.
Oh,
so.
dope. Mine was Van Helsing 2099. My earliest AIM memories is actually probably in the 4th grade. And I remember that being mind-blowing to me that, oh, I can communicate with my friends via the computer.
Do you think you could do the dial-up sound?
I'm gonna say like mine was half black Barbie 43
On what? On AIM or what?
on AOL Messenger.
Okay,
That's gonna be my
nice.
answer. Don't ask me any further questions about using AOL because I never did. Okay, I never did. But anybody can come up with a username really quickly. So there we go, half black Barbie 43 or whatever it is that I just said. Hopefully that was the right number and I'm being consistent right now. But I feel like at the very least I can answer that. What was yours, Taylor?
I love that. I had a couple, and as most millennials, I think they'll have more embarrassing ones the further you go back. So my first one when I was in like middle school was Big Beans 17, and then got into, you know, how you had to identify with your clique. Before we had 1,000 genders to identify with, you had different like social groups like the preps and the goths and the emo kids or whatever. I'm sure those still exist in a different form, just being silly. But I was trying to fit in with the preps at one point, and my screen name, I'm ashamed to admit, was A and F Boy 15, like Abercrombie and Fitch Boy. Yeah, go ahead and laugh.
At first I was like A and F Boy. Y'all had the slang word F Boy back then? Taylor, you were actively...
That wasn't even a thing back then. That was Abercrombie and Fitch Boy, which is again embarrassing to admit, but
no, that's
my
actually
goodness.
That's so real. That's so real. I remember in school, people used to go and shop at Abercrombie and Fitch or whatever. And like the cool thing to do was to get the shirt with the biggest logo on it. And everybody would like walk around with their Abercrombie and Fitch logo. And you were like bougie if you had like the bigger it was on your shirt, the better you were or whatever. So lame now. You would not catch me dead with a brand name of any kind on any of my clothing. But yeah, back then it was like...
you didn't know me.
Yeah.
I had like 5 Abercrombie t-shirts, you know, because the kids' brand was Abercrombie, and I wore them in successive days every day of the week and like repeated them basically. And then you'd mix in some American Eagle or
Hollister.
Hollister when that came out. I remember when that was like the new thing. And then Aeropostale was kind of like the cheaper knockoff one that no one wanted. But and I will say, to redeem myself a little bit, I did ultimately, like, once you enter into the late middle school, high school age, I landed on it's the TT for my screen name, or Taylor screen name with an O.
Okay.
So I think most people gravitated towards something a little more, I don't know,
You matured.
Normal.
Yeah, you matured, you grew up. Yeah, no, that was back when, if you went to Abercrombie and Fitch, right, they used to have the shirtless models and stuff who were selling you the clothes, or the shirtless like teenage guys outside, which would never happen now. It's like so unacceptable. The fact that was ever happening now in today's day and age.
Chokes you.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, do you know how this America Online dial-up sounds? Can you like do the sound for us?
It's weird because I know how it sounds, but I don't know how to imitate it. Like it'd be like, like how do you imitate the sound that dial-up makes? I don't know. I've never.
It's this. It's like a that's as best as I got.
That's pretty good.
What it sounds like to me.
That's pretty good. I've never thought about imitating that. Oh, she's doing a good job. That was really good.
Mine was Pretty Rave Girl after a MySpace song that I was in love with, but I'd never been to a rave at that point.
Love it.
I actually didn't have any because I was born and grew up in Japan and AOL wasn't a thing.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah.
I also
Okay, the girl with the pink hair is so obviously millennial. Like there's no question about that one. We can just move on.
I was in the Philippines when I was younger, so before in the Philippines, I feel like there was a lag. Devices were not exactly updated like how they were in America.
Mine was Dollcat 101. I think it was because there was this game that I really liked, and then I also liked the Pussycat Dolls.
Was it like Wizard 101?
Okay, Nicole Scherzinger.
No, Wizard 101 wasn't the game. It was like a dress-up doll type game.
I feel like I remember what you were talking about. I played it like the little virtual like dress up your doll game.
I played so many of those.
Can anyone bust a dance?
Didn't we all? I used to spend hours on the computer playing different like dress up doll video games, makeup video games like freegames.com.
Homestar Runner, was that a thing?
I've never tried. No, I've never even heard of that. What is that?
I think that's more of a millennial version, but it was this website with all these little mini games that you could play and memes and like soundboards. So it'd have like, I don't know, there was like a Chris Tucker soundboard that you could prank call people with and click on it and he'd say like, who dis, you know, and you'd like put your phone up to it. Anyways,
that's so
that was
funny.
Some of the early stuff.
My Gen Z people will know like Cool Math for Kids. Do you guys remember that website? Did you ever go on that website at school? I used to love Cool Math for Kids, and they had like, I think they had Fire Boy and Water Girl or Water Boy and Fire Girl or something like that. And all these, the SpongeBob games you could play on your PC. Oh my gosh. That was a time of my life when I was a kid, just playing SpongeBob all day long on the internet. Ugh, okay, let's keep watching.
Let's move right now.
What?
Okay.
I asked about dance moves because I thought it'd be fun to see everyone kind of showing themselves dancing. You can do the jerk. Usher glide.
Let's be real, Albert. You just wanted to show off your dance moves.
Literally.
Homeboy just wants any excuse to dance.
SpongeBob.
What about this? Does this count as a dance move?
That's
The
totally
Macarena,
millennial.
Right?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too old to.
You could do like the MC Hammer, like the Hammer Pants style dance. Boom.
I mean, that's like 80s, isn't it? Or 90s?
Yeah, but I feel like a millennial would like bust out that
Yeah, they
dance
would know
move.
that,
I feel
yeah.
like it's of that time. I'm trying to think of what specific
Crip walk
dance
or
moves.
C-walk? That was
Crip
a thing.
walk, stanky leg, but stanky leg millennial. I don't know. Oh.
Do it like this. One. Da, da.
No, that was like that was
That's before our time.
That's disco.
For me, I guess like ever since I was in elementary school, I like memorized like the Soulja Boy.
Hell yeah.
So that was like my shit.
Okay.
Did you say elementary school
Soulja
for that?
Boy up in it.
I did. But hey, there you go.
Okay, that's interesting.
No, they still play Soulja Boy when you go out dancing and stuff. Yeah, I'll be out there. I'll be out there doing the Soulja Boy any day of the week. I remember.
It slaps.
Yeah, Soulja Boy was like when I was in elementary school. I think that kids were doing the Soulja Boy
Okay.
a little bit in middle school. For millennials, you would have been like, I don't know what, high school, college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sheltered kid, so I didn't. I mean, I got wind of it, but I wasn't like one of these. As
You
soon
weren't
as it
doing the
was out,
Soulja
was
Boy.
out partying with everybody doing it. I was in church.
Ah,
But
that makes
I know
sense.
about it now.
They're like, this is demon music. This is of Satan.
When did the whip and nay nay thing? That was later, right?
That's later. Yeah, that's definitely Whip and Nene would be like that would
That was
be
just, like, 2
Gen
years ago.
Z, like older Gen Z.
I have a distinct memory that Cranked That was my freshman year of college. So I was like, damn, he would have had to have been pretty young for him
Crank
to
That
still be in
Soulja Boy.
elementary school when that song was popping. What was
Some say Albert is still dancing to this very day. He just wanted to show those moves.
everybody's
away.
favorite cartoon when they were a kid, like under 10?
Albert, if you're in Philippines, you might know this, but my favorite was Doraemon, which is about this like cat-shaped robot. and he got this like little pocket. It has a bunch of gadget to like help people out.
Oh wait. Favorite cartoon? What's a millennial answer for a cartoon? I have to think about this. I would say, I wasn't watching a lot of cartoons. Like I would watch Saved by the Bell. I would watch Full House, George Lopez. Yeah, I don't know that I have a cartoon answer for that. I'm trying to think. Oh gosh, I think I might get caught out on this one.
Let me know when you want help.
Could you say like Naruto? Does that count as like a millennial cartoon?
I was never personally into Naruto or animes that much. I watched like some of the Dragon Ball Z and Digimon, Pokemon, and stuff like that. But as far as like mainstream animated stuff, it was like Rugrats, Doug, Hey Arnold, Cat Dog. Like Ren and Stimpy was kind of like the crazy weird ones.
Gotcha.
You had like Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are my
I see you
time.
guys in the comments saying Wild Thornberries, Angry Beavers, the old Rugrats, Recess. These are great answers.
Girls.
Yeah.
SpongeBob came out kind of in that era too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is SpongeBob too
new.
late? Is that too late of an answer for a millennial?
It's toward the end, but as a millennial, I remember watching it like when I was a kid and being like, "Oh my gosh, what's this new awesome show?"
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I remember I had much like how you weren't allowed to listen to Soldier Boy. I had friends who weren't allowed to watch SpongeBob for like religious
I wasn't allowed
reasons.
to watch Rugrats because Angelica was a rebellious little girl. So,
so they're like, she's going to inspire you to rebel against mom and dad. Oh, Angelica.
Yeah, I know that. It's like a tiny like blue dude, right? And he has like kind of like a cat. Yeah, I remember
Because
that.
I know like that was airing like all over the Asia.
Yeah, that was popping in Asia. Yeah. For me, it was more like, I mean, everyone loves Dragon Ball, right?
When you said Dragon Ball, you mean Dragon Ball?
Do you mean original Dragon Ball or
Dragon Ball Z? Z.
You mean Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah. Z.
I was gonna say original Dragon Ball, like, and then Z came out later, but.
And GT. Yeah.
Well, GT is. Let's hold on. We don't even remember that one.
For me, it was Real Monsters.
Real Monsters, yo. Let me dap you for that, bro. Let me dap you for that, bro.
That little creature looks familiar, but I have no idea what they're talking about. Absolutely no idea. Dragon Ball Z, I only know because my older brother really loved like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and all those different type of shows. But I would be out if there was any questions about anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know who was running the creative department at Nickelodeon in that time, but they were into some weird stuff, like that little monster thing you showed, and the Ren and Stimpy stuff was really weird.
Yeah.
And Rocco's Modern Life has some really weird, trippy stuff. Like, I don't know. I was not allowed to watch some of the more crazy ones, but the like Hey Arnold was more chill and our speed.
You can tell they were definitely like doing drugs and then writing the cartoons, the creators of these shows. Like they were definitely on hella psychedelics.
That's I gotta dap.
Is that yours too?
I wouldn't say it was my number one, but I mean, that was heavy on the Nicktoons. If I had to choose one from that time, maybe Doug.
Oh, Doug.
What's that one?
It was on Nickelodeon.
Oh, Doug, yeah.
I'd say like Daria. What else was popping out at that time? My Wife and Kids, Married with Children, these sort of old school family shows, Family Matters, all that.
All that. Fresh Prince, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Please, I'd be passing this with flying colors.
Kenan and Kel.
Kenan and Kel.
Same time as Our Real Monsters was. Yeah.
I watched a lot of Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah. She pulled out
Dexter's
that
Lab.
Dexter's Laboratory. And the reason that made me a little bit sus is because I feel like normally people would say just Dexter's Lab. That's what it was in the theme song. In Dexter's Lab.
I really liked when Dexter would tell Dee Dee to get out of his laboratory, like, get out of my laboratory. I just liked the word laboratory, so.
Trying to think of one that somebody hasn't named that I liked aside from that. I watched a lot of like Cartoon Network, so for
that
me,
era was Count Chicken,
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo.
I actually kind of liked Johnny Bravo, but looking back, I'm like, that show was terrible. But I did watch it a lot.
I love Johnny. It definitely hit at the time. I love Johnny Bravo.
Oh, you have
Oh
the
my gosh,
stuff.
what else is on at that time? Samurai Jack.
I loved that. My dad liked it.
Yeah. Was Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends at that time, or is that more Gen Z? Do you remember that
I've
show?
never heard
with
of that.
Blue?
So,
And
yeah.
Coco Coco.
Thank you. Man, I'm pretty.
She was very quiet,
Alex.
but she also gave the look of a Gen Z.
She's dressed too cool, and black don't crack, so she's gonna get outed. But I feel like she's a millennial.
He said that the Soldier Boy came out when he was in elementary school, and I know how
Yeah, that
old
was
I
sus.
was. I think I was like late middle school, so that
Sus.
doesn't sound right. Good luck, guys.
Motorsport.
I do have a very Gen Z look, but I was just hoping that they would not think that the Gen Z person would be as obvious.
Hey, come check this out.
Sorry, Ragini, I gotta say bye, girl. We're skipping the ads.
For you is,
okay, round
what
two.
was the first CD album you bought?
The first one I bought for myself was Get Rich or Die Trying 50 Cent. That was the one that your parents would be like, no, I'm not buying that for you. Like,
That's right.
So I had to hustle to get that one.
First album. I'm gonna say Crazy in Love by Beyonce. Does that count? I feel like that's millennial enough.
That's a millennial pull for sure.
Okay, good. You could say like anything by Britney Spears.
Is that a physical CD that you bought, by the way, or was that digital?
No, I'm making this up.
This is your like what you would say.
Yeah, my actual first CD that I bought was the Jonas Brothers. That's the first CD that I ever owned, and it was like Lines, Vines, and Trying Times or something like that is what it was called. Fire album. Okay, I know the Jonas Brothers are still touring now. I would honestly go and watch the Jonas Brothers if it meant that they're gonna play songs from that album, because it was heat at the time, and it still is today. I still have that very first CD that I purchased from the Jonas Brothers.
I think my first CD that I owned was like a Christmas gift, and it was the Aaron Carter's CD, like with the How I Beat Shaq and the Aaron's Party Come Get It songs, which rest in peace, by the way.
Yep.
The first one I bought would have been, I think, Linkin Park Meteora was like when I was like 13 or so, and that came out. So
nice. And you guys are dropping Tupac. Someone said, I think mine was Paramore. Oh, that's a great choice for a first album. Britney Spears for some of you. Now 5. Oh yeah, like the Now CDs were like, This is Music 34. Whatever. Now This is Music. Oh my gosh.
Bop.
Or like the Flower Power CDs. Just the CDs that would just put you a little playlist together. Lots of that at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that. I was Marshall Mathers.
There you go.
That's a great first
My
CD.
name is. I played that song on repeat, and it's the worst song that your parents never want to hear.
I actually listened to that song when I was still in Japan, so like I didn't really, like fully understand English back then, so I was listening a lot. My parents didn't care because they don't speak English either.
So you got away with murder.
I was a free. Totally.
That's a good loophole.
Yeah. Anything that was like big in here was also big in Japan. So like I don't know how popular Full House was, but I grew up watching that when I was in Japan. Uncle Jesse, everybody.
Whew, everybody had a crush on Uncle Jesse. Let's be real. Let's be so honest with ourselves right now.
I think I had a crush on Uncle Jesse, not gonna lie. That's a good looking man.
That's a good looking man, John Stamos.
Had a crush on him, so I think that's universal. What about you?
I think it was like Usher.
Usher.
Confessions. See the thing about you that caught my eye.
Albert,
For me, it was Britney Spears, Maybe
He's
One More
dancing.
Time, and I made my mom play it in the car like every day on the way to school.
Mine was Spice Girls, the first album.
Oh yeah.
Who was your favorite Spice Girl?
Girls.
Baby Spice.
Yeah.
I actually was eating like a Chupa Chups, that little lollipop that
No,
she had.
Chupa Chups. Do they still make those? Does anyone know?
They still make them. I literally have Chup Chups in my refrigerator right now.
Why are they in the refrigerator?
Because we got them when we were in Australia, so I just threw them. I have an actual candy drawer in my refrigerator just to out myself. There's candy all in my fridge.
Do you in Japan? I don't know about here.
Is it a Japanese candy?
No. I think it's like somewhere from Europe, right?
From Spain, I think. Because
Spain, okay.
I think Dali designed the thing.
You're right. You're right. Like there's a little.
What was your guys' like after school activity back then?
For me, I was a little anti.
What do you got there, Taylor? What is that?
My wife just stepped in here and handed me these little relics of the past. It's Britney Spears and NSYNC. Is this the Baby One More Time album? So she still got these. We were in like a Goodwill the other day, and they had these like old school People magazine yearbooks from like 2001, 2003, 2002 that somebody had left there, and my wife was like, "Oh, I gotta have these." And she has like a box of like Britney and Justin dolls upstairs. My wife's the biggest Britney Spears fan ever, and Justin Timberlake, until more recent events have changed. But we're not going to go there.
Until the memoir came out.
So I just stayed at home and like drew and like read. So I read like Harry Potter books. Like I was a huge fan of those. So I would like read them over and over again.
I have this big ass computer and I love just to spend the whole afternoon writing books. So I wrote 3 books because I was in love with one of my friends.
Are you an author right now?
No, I'm not. I write science fiction and I draw.
I played like, you know, the speed cups and Beyblade.
Oh my gosh, stacking cups, Beyblades. Oh my gosh, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We had all that in my house from my older brother, so there was stuff like that going on. What are like millennial books? Because I'm trying to think. If you're a kid during that time, maybe it's like
kids books. We would reread. Oh, sorry, I let you.
No, you're good. You're good. I was thinking like Magic Tree House would be like. Did millennials read those books? The Lemony Snicket books?
Maybe I remember that being a thing. Obviously, like we kind of grew up with Harry Potter, so that's a big one. Mm-hmm. But I remember from my childhood, it was like Hardy Boys, the mystery books.
That's right.
Nancy Drew,
Babysitter's Club.
Which I think those are even older, but like we read those as part of older generation. But like I don't know, we had like The Giver. And that was a big one that we read in school. I don't know if they still read that.
Shel Silverstein books.
Yep.
Some of you guys are saying the Goosebumps, Percy Jackson, Nancy Drew, Magic School Bus. Was Magic School Bus, were those books or did they have, was that just a show?
Yeah, books too as well as a show.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember Captain Underpants was a thing. Yeah, Goosebumps was a huge one. You guys have some good memory.
The Scholastic Book Fair. Oh my gosh. Well, every year when that came around, that was the best day ever.
I remember Beyblade. Yeah.
What was your guys' collectible? Like, I was a WWF card collector.
Yeah. The fact that you said WWF, though.
Who was your favorite wrestler?
I loved Hulk Hogan. I loved Triple H when it went to WWE. And
I was The Rock.
Was it Sean? Oh my God.
Shawn
Heartbreaker.
Michaels?
Yeah,
HBK. Yeah. Shawn Michaels. Sweet chin music, bro.
Those were my gay awakenings, but.
Oh, he said my gay awakening was WWF. This is all over my head. I didn't watch any of that. Did you watch that, Taylor?
No, but I had some cousins. My 2 male cousins were like really into it, and we had Nintendo 64, this like WWF video game. So we'd like make players, and I got familiar with all of them through that, but wasn't really like a wrestling fan myself.
Yeah, fair enough. No gay awakenings through WWF.
Was anyone into video games?
Yeah,
video games.
What's everyone's favorite or system or game then?
First console?
64, Nintendo 64.
First console was NES. I was NES baby.
That was a GameCube.
That was your first
Mine is whichever Nintendo system where you have the little things that you put the cartridge in and then you have to push these little like purple or blue little things. I don't know what they are.
The Super Nintendo?
Maybe it's the Super Nintendo.
That's the main one that we had.
It would have Donkey Kong on it, and I think Donkey Kong was what I played the most with Donkey and Diddy Kong.
Console?
Not my first console. I was a GBA first, and then I went GameCube, and that's why I was a GameCube guy.
I'm a SNES.
This one, whatever that is. What is that?
That's the Super Nintendo,
Super Nintendo.
SNES.
My grandmother still has the Super Nintendo at her house, and it still works to this day. You can just go and play Donkey Kong on there, and it's very fun.
Street Fighter, I believe.
We had the original Nintendo at my grandparents' house, and then at our house, we had this SNES, and then we got the PlayStation 1, and then we kept up with PlayStation for a while then. But now I'm Team Xbox because I got into Halo when that came out, and never went back.
There you go. You've leveled up.
I was not a video game person, but my brother had a PlayStation 2. That's like the oldest one I remember.
PlayStation 2.
And so,
Okay, yeah, that one was
so we'd
bomb.
play like Mario Kart and things like that together.
On PS2?
I think so.
They didn't make it for PS2. Oh. But you did.
One of them.
I'm just,
But I didn't play games. I was just like, whatever.
She said the oldest game she played was like PS2. That's when I clocked her that she could be Gen Z. Because like my first was Nintendo, so.
Just because of the GameCube, but what would you do if this
You blow it.
Okay, good.
Listen,
Drop the cartridge.
all Nintendo products you blow into to make it work.
Can we have you do it?
Do you still have the N64? What?
Because you the water out.
You don't do it like this?
No!
To be fair, I'm pretty sure multiple people have said that doesn't actually work though, that it was in our heads.
Yeah, right?
Hey, when I boot it up,
Okay, who are they eliminating? They're obviously going to eliminate the girl who said PS2 because she's the only one who messed up the whole round, and that's going to just come back to bite her.
May I ask a question or no?
No.
Okay.
Shut
Cora
down.
just seemed really young. She also seemed like the one that was talking the least.
Can I ask it now?
No talking.
It's an important question.
Oh, come here.
Okay. Back in the day, we could collectively say, like, we don't want to vote. We think we caught the mole.
We'll do that eventually.
But you can't suggest it.
No, I'll do it.
You got to. Oh, okay.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
She's gone.
Honestly, I wasn't surprised that I was voted out the round I was, just because of the conversation that was going on that round. It was a lot about, you know, the things that I wasn't as familiar with growing up, so a lot of the video games and a lot of the anime and things like that.
If everyone feels confident that you already caught the mole, you could end the game now. But if the majority has doubt, the game will continue. So please raise your hand if you want to continue playing the game.
Just one.
The game is over.
It is fun.
I must ask you a question.
Oh,
the Nectar
wow.
app, that for adults.
Another ad.
Let's see
Sorry.
if we got fooled.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got it.
Yeah, I think we did too.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, no.
So if the lights turn green, that means you have voted out the
I know
mole
the
and you win.
answer.
If the lights turn red, that means the mole is still in the box and you lose.
No!
It's not you.
No, it's not.
I know it's not you.
It's this motherfucker.
I think
It's this motherfucker. He came with the cartridge. I knew it. I knew it.
Will the person who is Gen Z please step forward and reveal yourselves in 3, 2, 1.
There he is. And I actually think he's younger than me. I'm 23. I think he's 22, if I remember correctly.
That's
I would have never thought it was you.
Okay, I'm Trey. I'm 22.
Yeah.
What the Out of here.
I remember people saying, you know, you don't look 22, you look 28. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I love looking mature. I relate more with an older generation than I do with, you know, Gen Z in a sense.
Is Hulk Hogan?
And you know what the reason he says that, and the reason I recognize him is he's from an old Jubilee video where they brought together age gap couples, and he's in like a gay relationship with some guy who's in his like 40-something. He's like 40-something years old.
Oh, dang.
So there you go. That's why he identifies with the older generation, I think, a little bit, because that relationship got a big old gap in it. That ain't no small thing. That's how I recognize him, because I remember like 22. Damn, that's a huge age gap.
You're growing up quick.
Yeah, I think so, because I think the guy was more than double his age, at least the guy that he's in a long-term relationship with. So there's a little bit of Jubilee lore for you guys. I don't think I would have passed this test. I think I would have gotten immediately voted out just for the way I look, too, just like the other girl, because we have literally the exact same sort of style, the exact same hairstyle, everything. So if she got voted out first round, I probably would have been voted out, too.
If it was like a blind thing where they had to hear you talk and you were like explaining deep things or debunking arguments or something, then they'd be like, wow, there's no way this girl's Gen Z. Nobody that young could be that smart or whatever. 'Cause that's the kind of comments that we get all the time on the show. So I'll give you that. And you knew, like, cultural awareness, I'm always surprised by how much of the references and things that you know from that era. So I feel like you made the Naruto reference and the Beyonce CD. Like, I feel like you could have held your own just on a verbal sense, at least.
Yeah, I just got to blindfold everybody, and then and then I can win the challenge here. I'm curious, because a lot of you guys were like, I didn't know you were Gen Z. You know, put down what age you thought I was before I gave you my age, and I want to read that in the chat down below. I guess should we get into super chats? Should we do?
Yeah, we had that little quiz if you want to do it.
Let's do it. We found a little Buzzfeed quiz about taking a millennial test and seeing if this matches up. Let's see.
About to say I'd make a poll if they want you to do it, but I'm sure they'll just vote yes.
We'll just go ahead and do it. Yeah, why not? Let's just throw it up there. Okay, this is Buzzfeed's. Can you pass this millennial test and beat Annie LeBlanc's score? Now, I don't know who Annie LeBlanc is, but we're going to try to beat her score. She's a formidable
You're just going to skip to the
Gen
questions.
Z
Yeah,
influencer.
supposedly she's a Gen Z influencer, but...
Okay, whatever. I don't know who Annie LeBlanc is. You guys let me know down below. Okay, which of these songs is not by NSYNC? I am already going to have trouble. Oh, no. Oh no, because then it's like, okay, there's NSYNC and then there's Backstreet Boys, right? And they all have their own songs, and I don't know a single song by title. I feel like Bye Bye Bye, because that's Bye Bye Bye. I feel like that's actually NSYNC, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
It's Gonna Be Me. I feel like it's actually NSYNC.
Yeah, they post that Justin Timberlake meme every May because it's like it's gonna be May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are they tricking me that one of these is actually like Backstreet Boys or something?
One of them is Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
You're now and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which is, I guess, another millennial era thing. You're down to 50-50.
Okay, wait. Okay, and then it's I Want It That Way. I want it that way. But is that Backstreet Boys? I don't know.
Wow.
Okay, hold on.
Tell me why. Who sings the Tell Me Why line?
Oh no, I don't know.
He's got the 90s hair that split like this, you know?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna click
so
I Want
funny.
It That Way.
Okay.
Say that
Vote
that
for it.
is actually Backstreet Boys. Was
That's
that
your
correct?
Final answer. Yep.
Correct. Yes. Hi guys, I'm so competitive. That's why if I'm gonna cry if I get something wrong on this, even though it makes total
Nick Carter,
sense.
Aaron Carter's brother, was the one who sings the Tell Me Why, that line.
Okay, there we go. Well, that's good to know. Which show starred Zach Morris? We know this. Saved by the Bell. I used to watch so much Saved by the Bell. Kelly Kapowski. There's Zach Morris. I definitely had a crush on AC Slater. We don't need to talk about that. You know the guy who is the owner of the little like food place that they go and Saved by the Bell, like the little cafe. He's actually a very famous magician. So we went to the Magic Castle in LA, which is a super cool place to go if you like watching magic and want to have a fun night or whatever. And he was doing a headlining show there. So I got to see the guy who owns the little cafe in Saved by the Bell. What is this phone called? Oh, what? Okay. The little emblem on it looks like Metro something. I have no idea.
That's a bygone phone like carrier, Metro PCS.
Okay, my instinct is saying it's called the Sidekick. And I don't know if that's actually true. I'm between that and the Razr, but I know like there's like the Nokia Lumia type thing, like the Nokia phones, but I don't remember what those were called. So I'm gonna say it's the Sidekick. Oh, but is it the Razr though? Guys, I can't handle this. I'm gonna click Sidekick. No, wait. It's not chocolate. It's not the Envy. Okay, hold on. Let me really look at this. Paris Hilton is holding it. Would she hold a phone called the Sidekick? I don't think she would hold a phone called the Sidekick. But the Razr is like
approach.
I don't think, but the Razr is a weird name. Okay, Metro Razr, Metro Sidekick. Metro Sidekick sounds way better than Metro Razr. It's gonna be Razr. I'm gonna click Sidekick.
You called it. Go with your gut. It was known for being like super thin. That was why. And when you flip it, it was like the thinnest phone you'd ever seen. So that's why it was called the Razr. It was like that, yeah.
And the thing is not Metro, it's Motorola. Okay, Motorola Sidekick, Motorola Razr.
The Sidekick was one that it flipped out and it had a full keyboard that you could type on, and everyone thought that was amazing. So that was the popular phone for that time too.
I should have looked at the chat. All of you guys are screaming at me. It's Motorola. It's Motorola.
I'm glad you didn't though. That was like an honest. You're being honest in this, which I like, even though you don't want to lose.
Oh my! I am already losing. Okay. Oof. Which isn't a way your character could die in Oregon Trail. I never played Oregon Trail, but I'm gonna turn on my history knowledge and see if I can answer this. Okay, dysentery, you have to be able to die of dysentery on the Oregon Trail. There's like no way that is legitimate if you can't die of dysentery on the Oregon Trail. A snake bite has to be a way you can die on the Oregon Trail. These just would be unbelievable if that's not allowed. Measles. Okay, now I'm trying to think of the time frame of measles. And like, I'm thinking like, okay, it makes more sense to have like yellow fever, cholera, not necessarily measles. Electrocution makes no sense though, because what are you electrocuting yourself on? So I'm gonna put electrocution because what? Okay.
Oops, I gave it away.
Boom! That's okay. I'll take it. It says
the chat was like electrocution, but you were talking about measles. I'm like, oh no, guys, she's gonna do it again.
Once I got to the fourth one, I was like, okay. Once I read, obviously, electricity wasn't invented yet. The Oregon Trail was a game that took place in the 1800s. There was fire and all that they were using. Okay, which of these apps do you use to illegally download music? LimeWire. 100%. Obviously not iTunes, not MySpace, not Spotify. LimeWire, I used to use Skull Tunes or like Skull Candy or something like that. I forget what it was called, but LimeWire is the answer.
BearShare was another one I remember. And then, of course, Napster was the OG that got banned.
There you go. I am so competitive that internally I am still so pissed over the Motorola Razr question. I've already internally consigned myself to a loss on this because of that one question, just to let you guys know how seriously I take this. What kind of life did these ladies live? We don't have enough money, so can we give this back? Okay, it's not the sweet life. It's not the hard knock life. It's the hard knock life. Is it the simple life or the secret life? Because I know they had like the secret life of an American teenager, and that was a show. But I don't think that was a reality show, and this looks like a reality show. So I'm going to click the simple life and hope that I'm correct.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
touchdown.
That's Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton. They had a show called The Simple Life, and they went to like live on a farm or something and leave their life of luxury and celebrity to do that.
Nice. I should have what I should have done is I should have maintained a lifeline, and the lifeline was ask the audience for the Razr question.
We can do that. We
have one lifeline. We'll get through these questions, and hopefully I won't need it. Which celeb did not get their big break on Disney Channel? If I don't get this properly, I'm gonna be having a problem. Okay, Miley Cyrus, obviously Disney Channel, starting with Hannah Montana. Demi Lovato, obviously Disney Channel. What was Demi Lovato's first show on Disney Channel? I'm not sure what her first show was on Disney Channel, but she was on Sunny with a Chance. Obviously, Hilary Duff is Disney Channel. She had like Cadet Kelly and her own show and all that. Amanda Bynes had her start on Nickelodeon. We did the whole Nickelodeon documentary recap on this, so we better know where Amanda Bynes got her start. Okay. Finish this sentence. Be kind, please. Unwind, rewind, grind, mind. Be kind, please. Unwind, rewind, grind, mind.
My face right now that I was like, this is the most obvious, but it's so funny. You don't know, it's just the generational thing.
I have no idea. I don't think it's mind.
You want to ask the audience?
Let me eliminate real quick, and then we'll ask the audience, because I don't think it's not mind. It's not grind. It's either rewind or unwind, I think. I'm gonna guess, and then we'll ask the audience. Be kind, please. Rewind. I'm gonna guess it's rewind. What is it, guys? All of you guys are saying this.
Let me make the poll
rewind.
Here.
It's a rewind.
Oh, you're looking at the chat. Okay.
I'm looking at the chat.
That's fair enough. I'm not going to do the poll.
You guys are saying rewind. So is it like be kind, like please rewind, like step back and start what you were going to say over again because you were going to be a bitch?
No. It's from VHS tapes. And so when you'd rent a VHS tape from Blockbuster or whatever, you play the movie, and then the tape is all the way toward the end. It's on one side, so you have a rewinder in your house, a little apparatus, and you put the tape in there and rewind it. But you were an asshole if you didn't do that and just return the tape to Blockbuster without rewinding it. So you had to be kind and rewind. It was like a little slogan.
That is so embarrassing. I thought it was like, you're being a bully. Be kind and please rewind.
Try again.
Oh, but that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I did have VHS tapes. They definitely, I don't, now that I don't think about, maybe they did say this on it, but okay. Rewind. Click it. We got that correct. Use the lifeline. Oh, I remember when Blockbuster used to be that girl. We used to beg our mother to take us to Blockbuster because obviously you get to look through all the movies and pick one, and then they have the little candy aisle when you're about to check out. You still love Blockbuster.
And now we just are like scrolling through Netflix and Hulu and whatever. Like, what do you want to watch? What do you want to watch?
Yeah, dude. Remember when you used to rent movies from Netflix and they used to like send them to you? That
Mail
is
them to you.
so weird.
Yeah, you had to have a queue, and like until you send it back, they don't send you the next one. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is so weird.
And then the Redbox thing. I still see Redboxes. I'm like, who still uses Redbox in 2024? They're
I
still
know.
at like Walgreens and stuff. Like,
I know.
Y'all use physical DVDs in 2024.
What a time, man. Oh my gosh. I saw somewhere the other day, somebody said like, this next generation of kids, or like our generation is going to be telling the next generation of kids that like, oh, we were born before AI was a thing. I wanted to die.
Terrifying.
I wanted to literally die when I thought about the fact that we are going to have to say we were born before AI was like actually like brought about and invented.
You didn't even have sex robots?
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
my
for real.
goodness.
We didn't even
I'm
have
done.
the sex robots. Okay. What product was this silhouette advertising? Okay. Furby, Tamagotchi, iPod. I'm guessing it's iPod. It could be the Zune.
Do you know what the Zune is?
It sounds like portable, something you listen to music on. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it was an MP3 player. I don't remember if it was Microsoft or it was one like major company's competitor to like iPods.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this looks like iPod. I'm gonna click iPod.
Yeah.
Okay, correct. Even before that, I had a little like Walkman when I was a kid, and you used to throw your CDs in there, and that's what I was rocking with, and I love that. They need to bring those back because that is just that girl. That's the phrase that keeps coming to my mind. You be that girl if you're walking around with a little Walkman and listening to CDs.
Honestly,
just bring it back.
Imagine like being in New York City on the subway and just holding a CD player in your hands. That would be so like such a power move. I love it.
It really is like a little pink bedazzled CD player. Bring it back. Bring it back.
I love that.
Which snack was not in a millennial kid's lunchbox? Okay. All of these sound pretty millennial to me. One thing I'm thinking, I'm leaning towards Go-Gurt because when I was a kid, Go-Gurt was super in, and like Zach and Cody were doing like the Go-Gurt commercials and like the Danimals commercials and things like that. So maybe that's more of a Gen Z thing than it is a millennial thing. So I'm gonna click Go-Gurt. Oh, it's Whiz Sticks.
Yeah, I think that's a fake one. I've never heard of that.
I was thinking like Whiz Sticks were just another name for like pixie sticks, like those little pixie sticks, but I guess not. Another one wrong. This is devastating.
What a candy, by the way, pixie stick. It's literally like a tube full of sugar that you just pour into your
Tube
mouth.
full of sugar and a little bit of like what, malic acid or whatever.
No subtlety there, yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. When you used to go on field trips as a kid and you could get little pixie stick tubes and fill them up at the theme parks and stuff and put the different colors.
Oh my goodness.
Man, I miss my childhood. Okay, which of these movies did make fetch happen? Obviously, it's Mean Girls. We can move on. We don't need to continue with that. Finally, which catalog did millennial teen girls use to shop for clothes? Okay, it's not Scholastic. I think it's not Toys R Us. Delia's or Circuit City? Delia's doesn't sound legit at all, but I'm going to have to ask the audience on this one. I'm leaning towards...
Do you want me to do a poll or just look at the chat?
Let's do a poll between Delia's and Circuit City. I think Circuit City just doesn't sound like it would be selling clothing. It sounds like it would be selling electronics of some sort. So I'm leaning against that. Delia obviously sounds like a female name. So I imagine teen girls would be using something called Delia's. That's what I'm going to... it's getting 100% of the votes. It's getting 100% of the votes so far. So I'm going to go ahead and click Delia's. Thanks, guys. We got 10 out of 12 correct. You scored better than 70% of all of our quiz takers, but we didn't score better than 100%. And for that, we're going to have to come back next time and do better. This is unacceptable. It's actually unacceptable on all of our behalves. I know that you guys didn't get much say in the matter on my 10 out of 12 score, but I still blame you. I'm going to be such a good parent.
I know, I can tell you Circuit City is like Best Buy, but it was like their biggest competitor, but they went bankrupt like in the early 2000s.
Okay, so that makes sense. I said it sounds like electronics.
Yeah.
And it was electronics. Now, guys, we're going to get into your Super Chats. Let's hear from you guys.
Yes, we are. Love to hear what you guys thought about this very nostalgic episode.
Yeah.
Did it get you in all the feels? Hi Q says, just be pretentious and self-righteous and sanctimonious. It works for being liberal as well. I guess that's in reference to the title of the show today. Can I trick you into thinking I'm a millennial?
Oh, wow. You got a lot of
that
hate
must be
for
from
millennials.
A Gen Xer or a boomer who thinks that millennials are pretentious and self-righteous and sanctimonious.
I guess so. You're hating on the millennials. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Savage. Oh, I meant to read the results of our poll earlier, but of course now I can't find it. I'll pull them up. I think it was like 40% of y'all are millennial and like high 30s are Gen Z. And the next biggest was Gen X, and then the smallest was Boomer. So I'm glad all y'all are here. We don't discriminate.
We don't. We're not ageist.
Ageists. Mm-mm. Joy says, saw Jordan Peterson speak last night. It was phenomenal. The time flew by. About to board a plane back to Reno, but now I can say I've breathed the same air as Amala.
What? Breathe the same air?
Oh, because he spoke in LA, so maybe that's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
in
So you would have been in LA. That is so awesome. I'm glad that you got to see Jordan Peterson. I hope it was a good night for you guys. I know he's still touring for quite some time, I think.
Yeah, but I went to his show. I was about to say show. His appearance, his stop in Nashville a month or so ago, and yeah, good times. It's interesting to see him in person. It's crazy that like this guy just comes out with very little fanfare and then just starts speaking, and you can hear a pin drop in a stadium full of tens of thousands of people, and they're just leaning in, listening for an hour plus. It's like,
wow,
it's a weird experience.
Very strange.
But, yeah, what a time to be alive. That's cool though, Joy. Diva Dawn says, happy Friday. I'm curious, why is it that you interview guests in pre-recorded format instead of interviewing them live? I have questions for people, LOL.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could do that. It's just all a timing thing. It's a lot easier for guests if they can like set aside an hour in the morning sometime rather than be set for a show that we don't know how long it goes and all these different things. But eventually we will have live guests on here. I'm open to that possibility.
We did it once with Amir, didn't we?
Yeah, that's true. We did have Amir Odom.
He joined on the live stream, so we can do it more. Let us know who you guys want us to interview or have on the show in the chat. 35 Never Felt So Good says, hey there, gang. First CD was Backstreet Boys Millennium. And last but not least, I had to update my threads for summer. And now I look so fine that I date myself. Pause, men, go GTL nice. And steal that attention.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We love that for you, Alex. I'm glad you got some new threads and you're up in your game, up in the ante each and every day in the looks maxing journey.
Yeah. What's that even called? There's trans maxing. What's it called when you want to date yourself?
Yeah. That's something totally different. I don't know what that is.
Someone give us a suggestion.
Yeah.
Celtic Blacksmith says, PSA, check Mega Cartoons DAWT NHET for free 90s cartoons. You're welcome.
Okay.
.net. Okay, gotcha. I had to get creative with the spelling. Super chat wouldn't go through.
Fair enough. Yeah, go get your old nostalgic 90s cartoons. I appreciate the recommendation. I love to go and watch old nostalgic stuff.
Love that. Incognito Candy says, hey, Amala and Tay, I need dating advice. The man I'm dating and I are perfect for each other in almost every way, except I'm atheist. He's agnostic / non-religious, but believes in a possible higher power. He wishes I wasn't an atheist because he hates atheists. When we talk beliefs, I feel like he villainizes me. I was upfront about my atheism from day one. Could build a future together despite our differences. Any tips?
Okay, let me think about this. I love questions like this. This is right up my alley.
I didn't realize how big a gap that would be between like non-religious, agnostic, and atheist.
Yeah,
so
you'd be surprised. These things come up. Let me think about this. Okay, you said you're perfect for each other than the fact. Well, first of all, let me just go ahead and say this. he's logically inconsistent because you can't just hate an entire group of people because they have a non-belief. You get what I mean? Atheists are not a group of people. Like, they're not a community of people that believe the same thing. So every atheist is going to be different. I have qualms with the word atheist altogether. We don't need to get into that today. So it doesn't make sense to dislike a group of people, because what you are is somebody came and gave you a religious claim and you said, oh, well, I'm not convinced by your religious claim. That's all you're saying. It has nothing to do with being a member of a community or a part of a group or anything. So to dislike atheists is just logically does not make sense. From there, if you guys see this as a hiccup that's going to happen in a long-term relationship, especially if you're going to have kids, and he wants to teach about some sort of higher power that he's also agnostic to, I don't know how that's going to work out. You guys are going to have a discussion about whether or not that's something that you can compromise on. I feel like if it's a consistent thing where you're constantly trying to convince the other of the belief, or you harbor contention towards the person for the belief that they have, or like disdain, maybe not. But I don't know how severe the impact that this is having on your relationship is. Like, how often are you having arguments about whether or not there's a higher power? You know what I mean? And if he's agnostic towards it, like, what is he even upset about?
I would think you could kind of, put that in a philosophical discussion sort of box and focus more on the more relevant to real life values that you may or may not share, and discuss those and make sure you're in sync with those, and discuss how you would talk about the existence or non-existence of a higher power with your kids, separately, but more as a smaller, like, philosophical point. And I think I would think that the bigger consideration would be, like, do we broadly share the same values, and can we agree on what should be taught to our children? But the hyper concern, as Amal kind of says, with like the labels would be a little concerning to me. Like, just the fact that you would say I'm an atheist and not an agnostic or whatever, and that being such a big deal, seems like, okay, well, if that's such a big deal to him, then I don't know if that's something that a gap that you can bridge. I would think so, but if he doesn't seem to think so, then yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with the logical inconsistency on his part. Because how are you agnostic, which is an active admission that you don't know something, but you're upset at a person who's making no claim at all for making no claim? It's very difficult.
Might be semantics there too.
Yeah, there's got to be something else going on. Maybe he's like more spiritual and not religious. I don't know. I have a lot to unpack
Jordan
here.
Peterson on him. What do you mean by God? What do you mean?
Let's bring them both on the show and interview them live to get down to the bottom of this. And then at the end, I will judge whether or not your relationship should continue. And you guys have to listen to whatever the ruling is.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
That's a great super chat, though. Thank you, Candy. That's really interesting.
Yes. Always throw your dating questions in the super chats, guys. The best day ever.
Rose Chappelle Frankie says, hi, Amma. I'm a huge fan. You are so amazing, and I'm so grateful you speak on so many issues. You make me feel so like I have a voice. I'm also raised liberal to now conservative. Wish we could talk.
Oh, that's so sweet. I really appreciate that. That is amazing. I'm glad that what is said on the show resonates with you. You've sort of found a space where you feel like you have something to say and you have a voice. You're always welcome to throw stuff in the chat, talk to us on the show. Please leave comments, because I go and read through all of your guys' experience and what you guys glean from the show all the time. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's super sweet.
John Jackson Greiger says, Taylor, be my wingman. Do not let anyone see this message. Just drop her social security in the comments. I can handle the rest from there.
Drop my social security in the comments. That is crazy.
It looks like it's meant as a joke, obviously, but that's, and creepy.
Also, why would Taylor have my exactly? Yeah. Why would Taylor have my social security?
But even if I did, I sworn to
to secrecy on that one.
Enable creepy people to do creepy things.
Yeah, what would you even do with that information? I don't want to know. Don't actually answer so that we can file that with the police, please.
Yeah. Drop your social security in the chat so we can report you to the authorities.
Oh, how the turntables.
Nicodemus 1984 says Parker Lewis can't lose, The Dukes of Hazzard, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Alf. In France, we had to wait until the 80s to see some of these shows. Very entertaining topic. Cheers to both of you.
Oh, interesting. I always
those
forget.
seem like older ones, like Dukes of Hazzard, Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I mean, Fresh Prince is 90s, obviously, but Alf, that's like definitely before my time, 80s.
Yeah. I always forget
That's
how American culture sort of seeps over to other places and what they get and what they don't get. Like when she asked, I don't know how popular Full House is in the United States. I'm like, huh? That's so crazy to think about.
Yeah, the Japanese girl said she watched it. It's like, I had no idea. But
yeah.
Nicodemus is a longtime super chatter, by the way. And je ne savais pas que tu es français. C'est très, très bien, très cool.
Wow.
That you are a French guy and also a regular of this show. So thank you.
Awesome.
Let's see. 35 Never Felt So Good said, I went out last weekend and this girl I was dancing with thought I was 25 instead of 35. Kings, if I can go from 300 pounds to 230 in 2 years, so can you.
Now my question is, how old was the girl? That's all I want to know right
girl.
now. Yeah. How old was she? Thinking she was dancing with some 25-year-old when she's really dancing with a 35-year-old. No, but good for you, you know. You found the fountain of youth in Looks Magazine.
And I think that was actually our last super chat of the day.
We will take it.
Yeah.
This is reminding me that we need to bring back an old segment we used to do back in the Dizzy, where you guys gave me your dating advice questions and we just aired out all of your drama on the show and answered the questions. Maybe one day I'll open an email so you guys can send lengthier questions, because I was doing it on Instagram stories and you can't really send all the info there. But maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe I need to do a dating episode and we'll do one like on a weekend or something one day and try it out and see what happens, because that would be a blast. Guys, thank you so much for watching the show. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you Millennial, Gen Z, Gen X? I don't know, Gen Alpha at this point? Let us know in the comments. Let us know all the different cartoons that you watched. What are your millennial deep cuts, if you have any? And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time we're live, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. Plus, we post videos for you guys every single day. Tomorrow, we're reacting to crush reveals. So somebody's sitting down with their crush, playing Truth or Drink, and revealing it to them. Something I would never do, ever in my life. Let me make that so clear for you guys. So keep an eye out for that video tomorrow and drop your thoughts in the comments. As always, I encourage healthy debate. So if you disagree with anything said in this video, duke it out, but do so respectfully. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.